The game is over. And Louisville, as Sean McDonough says, a 10-point underdog, a team who lost 3 ball games coming into this game, comes into Death Valley, beats Clemson 33-21. It was, well, let me give you this analogy. Maybe I can paint a word picture for you. If a game were a fart, this would be the game. This would be it. If a game could somehow be morphed into a fart, a turd, whatever, any excrement ball that you would like to choose, this would be the ball game. And Clemson proved to us that all they've been doing is beating bad football teams. Now, that's good. You're supposed to beat bad football teams. In the preseason, 24/7 Sports put out this list of teams, and based on how many 5- and 4-star teams, 4-star players, that they have on their team, they ranked those players. Do you realize that according to that list, Clemson is the 5th most talented team in all of college football, and this is what they went out and did. And throughout the season, what have I said? I have said, I hope that not only are the players getting better, I hope that the coaching is getting better. You know, we always focus on the players and we criticize whoever it may be for doing whatever they did or not doing what they should have done. But, folks, you need to realize that these extremely high-paid coaches are supposed to grow as well. And I'm going to tell you this. I know there's complaints, and I agree. There was holding here and there on Clemson's defense, but folks, that doesn't fix the problem on Clemson's offense. Again, I agree there was holding that was not called on Clemson's. That Clemson's defense was held, but folks, I'm sorry, though I agree with that. That does influence a game. What was Clemson's offense doing? Also, I have a question for you. Has anyone ever heard of clock management? Clemson in the fourth quarter was just moseying around. It's like, hey guys, listen, we don't want to break a sweat here. It takes time to do quality work. You need to understand that it takes time to do quality work. Come on, y'all. That was embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Louisville is a team who has lost 3 games coming into this game. And I said we needed to pay attention to them. But I felt like Clemson would pay attention to them. That Clemson would take them seriously. So here's who Louisville has lost to this year. I'm sorry, if you I can't help but hear Sean McDonough saying Louisville and Clemson. About 60 Z's in there. They lost to SMU 34-27. They lost to Miami 52-45, and they lost to Notre Dame 31-24. So up to this point, Louisville hasn't beat a good football team. They haven't. Austin Peay, Jack State, Georgia Tech, Virginia, Boston College. Come in, they play Clemson. They beat Clemson, and they beat Clemson handily. I mean, that was a dominant win. Give you just a few stats. Cade Klubnik, this bothers me. This tells you what type of passes were being the plays that were being called, okay? He threw 56 passes in this football game. He completed 33 of them. You know how many yards he finished for? 228 yards off of 33 completions. They had two. I mean, there's just so much right now I could say. There's like 9,000 thoughts in one mouth for me to say it. And I mean, this was just terrible. Good for Maffa. He had 30 carries, 171, 2 touchdowns. Wonderful. That's great. Isaac Brown, the running back for Louisville, 20 carries, 151, one touchdown. Tyler Shuck, 17 of 32, 156 yards. I'll go through a few stats, but I mean, listen, Clemson had 31 first downs. Neither team turned over the football. Clemson had more yards than Louisville. They had 228 in the air, 222 on the ground. Louisville had 366 total, 156 in the air, 210 on the ground. Clemson had the ball 15 minutes, almost 16 minutes longer than Louisville. They lose by 12. What is my point here? For a team that, according to 24/7 Sports, has a ton of talent, they're ranked number 5 overall. That's up there with Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State and Texas for having, a bunch of 4 stars and 5 stars on the team. You would think that Clemson could do a little better than what they did here. But what is it showing us? It's that Clemson has not improved since week 1. While the SEC is beating up on one another, oh, by the way, South Carolina, there was another game going on in the state of South Carolina tonight. South Carolina Gamecocks just beat the living trash. I mean, they beat the kidneys out of Texas A&M. Clemson has to play them, and I'm going to say something that's going to tick off a lot of the Clemson faithful. If South Carolina played Clemson tonight, Clemson would have lost by 4 touchdowns. There was no fight. They were lackadaisical. The offensive play call looked like we were just out we're playing putt-putt. Hey, guys, get the kids over here. Get the kids over here, and we're going to try to putt the ball around this little curvy bend through the mouth of, a tiger while a windmill spins through it. That's what they look like. And this was what I was afraid of, that Clemson was not getting any better. And I warned a lot of you. By the way, there's 225 of you in here right now. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Remember, it is free. And listen, I'm going to play on your emotions. It was my birthday yesterday. This game was terrible. So even if you hate my guts, would you at least subscribe? Please do that. I do appreciate it. There's a ton of comments in here, and I'm not going to be able to get to them. I mean, there's a ton of comments in here. And here's what's so sad about today's win for Louisville and Clemson's loss. Miami still looks bad. They don't look great. They struggled with a Duke team that's not good. SMU went out and beat the only other undefeated team. I mean, right now, SMU is still playing. They're up 48-11 over Pittsburgh. So it looks like, unless something happens, it's going to be SMU and Miami in the ACC championship. And I just want to tell you, neither one of those teams look like they could play with the top tier football teams in the country. Neither one of them do. There's so many holes here and there. Yeah, you've got Cam Ward and you have Restrepo and you have Damian Martinez, but you know what? You don't have a full team. Your defense gives up too much. You go out there and you play defense like you played against Duke. You go play that against Georgia, Texas, Bama. You get ripped apart. The ACC is bad with some good players here and there. And Clemson losing this, I'm going to say this, and some of you are not going to agree with me, but that's totally fine. I warned you that I was afraid that Clemson was not getting better. And what did I say about Clemson? I said, I am like, what's the Missouri slogan? The show me state, right? Just show me. Just show me you got better. Tonight, Clemson showed me that not only have they not got better on the field as much as they should. There was some good players. Like I said, Maffa went out and did what he could do. Maffa can't help the plays that are being called. Maffa can't help that the team's not running up to the line of scrimmage. Maffa can't help that the clock was mismanaged. You would have thought Clemson was running out the clock because they were winning. But my point in all of this is that if tonight's loss saves Clemson from going to the college football playoff, and giving the coaching staff something to brag about when Clemson really hadn't done anything. Giving some of the fans who selectively choose to be naive, like you're smart people, most of you, and you selectively become stupid when you start talking about Clemson because you just love them so darn much. It's just, I just love these guys. and all of a sudden, all logic leaves you. And you would have been proud to go to the playoff and get beat by 30 or 40 points, not thinking about what that would do to Clemson in the long run. If tonight's loss to Louisville keeps Clemson from going to the college football playoff and getting the same beatdown that TCU got against Georgia, I can live with it. I mean that. I mean that 100% because I actually care about the football team. I actually understand that we're just not playing for right now. Clemson is playing long term. So if Clemson goes and gets TCU'd, oh, by the way, what happened to TCU after that one magical season that they ended up making it to the national championship and losing by 58 points in the national championship? Oh, what happened last year? Yeah, they were terrible. What's happening right now? They're irrelevant. Well, Clemson's got history. Yep, and that history is history. I loved 16 and 18. Guys, that was 8 and 6 years ago. I had less gray hair. So, we're talking about right now. So, if tonight's loss keeps Clemson from going to the college football playoff and losing by 30 points, 40 points, and looking like an embarrassment, and it hurting Clemson in the long run, I'm all for it. Now, here's a little bit of what I don't want to happen this week. I don't want Clemson to fold like lawn chairs. I want these guys to come out with some fight and so on. But I'm just telling you, folks, your idea of Clemson rebounding from Georgia tonight proves they didn't. That's why I would conveniently bring up Georgia every now and again. Y'all be like, hey, it's time to move on. Hey, newsflash, Clemson didn't move on. I told you we didn't move on. I was concerned we didn't move on. I told you I was heavily concerned that Clemson had not moved on. Time had moved on. Clemson had played multiple games since August the 31st, 12 o'clock, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But I was really concerned that Clemson had not actually grown and moved on from that Georgia loss. And I was told by people going, hey, man, it's time to get rid of that negativity, man. Man, are you manifesting stuff over there? How'd that work for you? By the way, if you can manifest some stuff, I wish you would let me know how to do that. And I'm going to manifest winning the lottery next time it hits about $1 billion. You can't, you're straining and trying to, literally, you're going to pop an emotional hemorrhoid over there trying to just, oh, they're good. They're good. We need this guy to stop telling us the truth. You're just hurting yourself. You're lying to yourself. It's embarrassing. I just told you, Clemson's going to have to prove that they've grown since that August the 31st blowout to Georgia. They played good in the first half. Unfortunately, third and fourth quarter was a totally different story. And tonight proves Clemson they have not gotten any better. They are not any better than what they were on August the 31st. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Let's get to the comments. There's 150 comments in here. I am not going to get to, be able to talk to all. I'm not going to be able to get to all these comments. I'm so sorry, everyone. Have a bunch of people in here, a ton of people in here, folks. And so I am so sorry. Grafnar is in here. It's good to see you, my friend. I mean, a bunch of people in here. Just tons. I can't even get in here. Big John. I mean, there's just so many people in here, and that's wonderful. Chase Henderson. Good to see all of y'all in here. Folks, here's my closing thoughts. There's 317 of you in here. Please, seriously, I hope you'll subscribe. It's free. Clemson is not getting better. And I believe the talent, I'm bringing this up, folks. I'm bringing this up because it's real. I believe after the national championship in 2018, a sense of complacency hit the football team. And you can't blame them. They just beat Bama, the king of college football, by 4 touchdowns. You have the best quarterback to come through college football in years playing for you. He just won a national championship as a true freshman. You have guys like, I don't know, Travis Etienne as your running back, T. Higgins out on the corner, playing a wideout for you. I mean, you have some great players playing for you. You have no reason to strain extra hard and win because you have been winning. I think after that, some complacency fell into the coaching staff. I really do. We also had some, over the next few years, we had some coaches leave, take jobs elsewhere, maybe retire, whatever. But I believe that the talent began to hide complacency that seeped into Clemson. Seeped into Clemson kind of like a leak in a wall. You have a leak in a wall, you have no clue it's there, it's just small. Until one day you see a puddle and you think, it's not that bad. Can't really trace it. I'm worrying about nothing. And then all of a sudden, the wall starts to collapse. And that, to me, is what's happened to Clemson football. And the last time Clemson went to the college football playoff, what happened to them? They got destroyed by Ohio State in the first round with all that talent around them. We saw what happened in 21. We saw what happened in 22, 23. Clemson has now lost a game at home for 3 consecutive seasons. Before tonight, Clemson had only lost 3 games at home since 2016. That included 2016. Clemson now has their 3rd year in a row to where they lose to a football team. And tonight, Clemson did not lose to a top-tier football team. Clemson was not playing Oregon in Death Valley. No, Clemson was playing a 3-loss Louisville team. A 3-loss Louisville team who, though they had played well, and I think Brom is a really good coach, but they played a Louisville team tonight that hadn't beat a good football team all season. But they did, and they did tonight a solid football team. I won't say that Clemson's a good football team. They're not terrible, but they're not good. They're not top 15 good. And Louisville came into their house as a 10-point dog and beat them. Folks, I'm going to say this. If you like the trajectory of Clemson football right now, you must enjoy mediocrity. Because it is clear nothing is changing. Very little is changing. When Clemson plays a good football team, or a football team that will push back on them, they lose now. They lose more times than not. And it just makes me question what really is going on. What is really going on? So, well, folks, I hate it. But hey, that's life. That is life. If anything, if Clemson was just being spared from going to the playoff and getting their head ripped off, I'll take that, right? I will take that. But this is just absolutely, it's just sad. It really is sad. Tiger Man, thank you for donating $4.99. I appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the channel. We needed some alcohol. Oh man, it's tonight. We you know what? Tonight we needed to see creative coaching. And they went back in their shell. Went right back in their shell. Right back in their shell. And everything fell apart. We had players at the very end of the game catch a football instead of run out of bounds, stop the clock. They turn in the field. I mean, none of that makes sense. Thanks for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. All right, folks. Hold on one second. We had a ton of recruits visiting tonight, and we just lost most of them. Garrett Riley. No tempo in fourth quarter. Thank you, Noah, for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate you supporting the channel. It's very, very kind of you. Chris Olson is in here. $5. It sucks that they lost, but I do not want to see them get destroyed in the playoffs. 100%. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It's very kind of you. Folks, if I've overlooked anyone else who has supported the channel, please forgive me. There's just so many comments in here. I can't get to all of them, but thank you so much for supporting the channel. Folks, I will be, unless something changes tomorrow, I will be talking about the top 25. Of course, playoff comes out Tuesday night, but I will be talking about the top 25. I may do a post reaction again to this game sometime tomorrow. I do hope you'll subscribe. Remember, it is free. Hey, it was my birthday yesterday. At least give me a subscription just for that. I need something after this. Thank you so much. It's always good to see you win or lose. It's always good to be a Tiger. Go Tigers.